As of the recording of this video, there are 843 officially retail released amiibo, 20 competition exclusive trophy amiibo, and 4 amiibo that have been announced but not released. Considering we are over 9 years from the announcement of amiibo, I figured it was time to take a look back at the first system that could use them, the Wii U.
Without a doubt, the first game I have to talk about for the Wii U functionality is Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Being able to train an amiibo to fight like you was the big draw that Nintendo was trying to create, and it sure is something when you see a amiibo all fight it out several years after the fact. Every character from the base roster got their associated amiibo within the first year of Smash 4 Wii U releasing, and the DLC characters would all eventually get their amiibo by July 21st, 2017. In Mario Kart 8, you could start using amiibo costumes for amiibo that had already dropped to coincide with the first wave of DLC. Similar to Smash, it took a long while for all the costumes to become officially available, as Toad hadn't even been announced when the DLC dropped to get an amiibo, and figures like Olimar wouldn't be available for 6 months. The insane amount of amiibo locked content was only getting started, as with the release of the Hyrule Warriors 1.4.0 update, we got another major content lock. Link unlocks the Ancient Spinner weapon from Twilight Princess. While this doesn't lock you out of the weapon entirely, this specific version even had a trailer showing off that the Ancient Spinner was only available through the Link amiibo. Moving on to 2015, the first game of the year amiibo-wise for the Wii U was Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, which allows you to give Kirby a power-up based on Kirby, Meta Knight, and King Dedede once per day. The most useful of these is Kirby's, as you get to use it to plow through a lot of hazards on the stage. Meta Knight and King Dedede seem to have identical powers, at least from what I tested, and they're not good. Mario Party 10 only had one way to play a somewhat conventional version of Mario Party. It was through the use of amiibo for Amiibo Party. Using Peach, Bowser, Toad, Luigi, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Rosalina, Wario, Mario, or his gold or silver variants allows you to play Amiibo Party with character-specific boards. Gold and Silver Mario specifically allow you to use special character tokens to change into their colors. Now, granted, this also was the first release of a non-Smash Bros. Amiibo, which was really solid, honestly. Minus the Gold Mario, but we're not going to get into that in this video. While Captain Toad Treasure Tracker officially released long before a lot of these games, it wasn't until the Mario series amiibo released that Captain Toad was updated to use the Toad amiibo. This allowed you to play Pixel Toad hide-and-seek challenges for any of the non-special worlds. The release of Amiibo Tep, Nintendo's Greatest Bits, is arguably the closest Nintendo ever got to the Toys to Life concept that Skylanders, Disney Infinity, and especially LEGO Dimensions were doing at this time. You can get 32 demos from NES and SNES by tapping in 32 amiibo. Are they associated with the amiibo you tapped? No. Did I even bother tapping all 32 in to get every game? Also no, because I have a dozen other ways to play the games that I care to play. Nintendo didn't have to do this. The vast majority of amiibo were instantly selling out, so this felt like a way to justify the purchase of amiibo, I guess. Kind of weird when you have these same games available on the Wii U eShop. Moving on. In May 2015, Nintendo released their brand new IP, Splatoon, and despite no proof that the amiibo would sell, the game ended up with 8 amiibo before the end of the Wii U. The first 3 that released alongside the game were Orange Inkling Girl, Blue Inkling Boy, and Green Squid. These 3 would unlock costumes and mini-games to play while sitting in the lobby, while waiting for a game, or just to play in the main hub. In 2016, Nintendo re-released the Splatoon 3-pack in a different set of colors: green Inkling Girl, orange Squid, and purple Inkling Boy. These do have the exact same functionality as the original 3, so you don't get anything for tapping them in if you've already finished the amiibo challenges, but they do show up as their physical colors instead of being the exact same chip from the original 3. Callie and Mari were released alongside the Recolor 3-pack as a way to continue doing Splatfest concerts after the end of the game's life cycle. Unfortunately, as of March 3rd, 2023, these servers are offline due to a security exploit, and there's no saying when they'll be back. But you're still able to use the amiibo to get costumes, play the minigames in the hub, and listen to the Squid Sisters play a song from their list. Super Mario Maker also had some amiibo locked functionality, with the 30th anniversary Mario amiibo locking the big mushroom behind both the classic and modern versions. The two versions will give you their color palette and an exclusive costume. You could use basically any other amiibo that were released up until summer 2016, as those were already planned, to get the costumes without having to do challenge runs. This included ones that had not even been announced yet, like Mega Yarn Yoshi and Lucas.
It should also be pointed out that every region had an exclusive console bundle for Mario Maker, with Japan and Europe both getting classic 8-bit Mario bundled with their Wii U's. And while I can't speak for them, the North American Wii U bundle had modern 8-bit Mario exclusively tied to the console until he got a solo release 6 months later.
While Skylander Superchargers and Superchargers Racing did release alongside Amiibo, these games do not actually use the Amiibo support. I did just want to make sure that I mentioned it just in case someone pointed it out in the comments. Yoshi's Woolly World received 4 Amiibo within a month of launch. Green, Light Blue, and Pink Yarn Yoshi would give you their color for an Amiibo companion that will mirror your movements exactly. And in November 2015, Mega Yarn Yoshi would do the exact same functionality as the Green Yarn Yoshi, but it's big and adorable, so it kind of makes up for it. Most Amiibo that were released by October 2015 would give you an Amiibo costume based on that Amiibo, with the exception of the Amiibo cards and the Pokemon Amiibo, which will give you a white shirt with the Amiibo logo on it. Here is probably the most infamous Wii U game, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which was bundled with 5 Amiibo at launch.
Winter Isabelle and Digby were released as figures, with Digby being marked as a limited time offer. The other 3 Amiibo were special Amiibo cards of Rosie, Goldie, and Stitches.
Along with those 3, you can use Isabelle CP, KKCP, or the other 400 Animal Crossing Amiibo cards
that were released prior to the Welcome Amiibo update for Animal Crossing New Leaf,
and the other 14 of the Animal Crossing figures, for a grand total of 421 unique Amiibo being able to be used in this game. Only the 16 figures can be directly used with the main board game, and unfortunately that game is long and tedious, even if you have just one person tapping for all 4 players, because there is an insane amount of dialogue, so it isn't even the best game in Amiibo Festival. It does have a cool little functionality with Amiibo cards though, in that if you tap them, you can add those villagers to the board. There's also 8 minigames to help round out the package. There's 3 types: single player, multiplayer, or both. The first that I'll touch on are the ones that can be both. There's Balloon Island, where you try to time tapping your Amiibo cards to land your villagers on a moving island. The Quiz Show, in which you aim to get a high score by correctly guessing Animal Crossing trivia questions. The single player version is a timed test to see how much you can answer in 90 seconds. The multiplayer is, get the most points. We'll focus on the multiplayer-only minigames next. Fruit Path is a minigame that uses the dice number on the associated amiibo card to move that many spaces, and ultimately doesn't really do anything exciting as you aren't locked into a specific set of amiibo cards like some of the other minigames, so you can just tap the exact number you need to get a high score. Then you have Amiibo Card Battle, which similarly uses the dice on the amiibo cards, but instead you win if you have the highest card, unless the zodiac sign happens to match. Yeah. The game does limit you to 6 cards, but I can promise you there are more than 6 cards that have a 6 as their number. The single player games are either really interesting or really lame, and there is no in between. You have Rossetti Bop, where you have to tap each of your 3 cards to hit the various Rossetti, and timing it to not hit the color that your villagers are holding. Acorn Chase, in which you place 3 amiibo in the fray and try to collect all the acorns so you can escape. Mystery Campers is the classic game of hit and blow, but with a campsite and 6 villagers, 4 of which go and hide in the tents. You win by correctly guessing which 4 villagers are in the tent and in what order. The last minigame is the best game in the whole package, Desert Island Escape. Using 3 amiibo, you have to gather equipment and food to survive while you look for all the parts to escape the island. This one can actually be challenging depending on which amiibo you pick, as each has a certain attribute that will help or hinder your progress. Amiibo Festival as a whole is easily one of the most involved amiibo games in the whole history, and it is unfortunately very lacking for the most part. But it still uses an insane amount of the available amiibo, so I will give it props for that, even if the game itself was solely designed to get Animal Crossing amiibo figures released. After all that, we still have a couple games for 2015. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which allows all of the Super Mario Bros. Series amiibo released in 2015, along with Wario, Bowser Jr., and Rosalina, to be tapped in so that you can train them to be your doubles partner. Yeah, no one's going to do that. Sorry, Nintendo. And, as a Japan exclusive, Taiko Drum Master Tomodachi Wii U. I know that's not the name. I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to do it a disservice by trying to pronounce it. Released with Pac-Man and the Animal Crossing series amiibo, unlocking music, frames, and figures for the game. Onward and upward to 2016. Shovel Knight and subsequently Shovel Knight Treasure Trove unlocked Custom Night and Challenge Mode challenges. Custom Night was a different way to unlock upgrades. In February, Word Puzzles by Pogi was one of those forgotten games with amiibo support on par with the Switch game Build-A-Bridge. Compared to that game though, Pogi has a very basic functionality in which you create puzzles with the names of the owner and the amiibo. Twilight Princess HD and the Wolf Link amiibo were bundled together for $60, which made this one of the best looking amiibo for only $10. The functionality locked behind it was extreme though, as you could enter a dungeon exclusive to this amiibo. Completing the dungeon would give Wolf Link the same amount of hearts you had, and that functionality could be taken over to Breath of the Wild when it released in 2017, making Wolf Link the amiibo with the best cross functionality. In addition, Twilight Princess HD allows you to refill arrows once a day per Link amiibo, refill hearts once a day per Zelda amiibo, and enter hard mode by tapping Ganondorf, which made you take twice as much damage from enemies and the environment. The Wii U's version of Pokken Tournament was initially released with the Shadow Mewtwo amiibo card. This card didn't get re-released with the Switch port of Pokken Tournament DX, nor reprints of the Wii U version, so it is one of the few amiibo that has never truly been restocked. Tapping the card into Pokken will unlock Shadow Mewtwo early, and all other amiibo will unlock customization items and random titles that also are exclusive to Amiibo.
You earned a new title.
Second game in March, Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge for Wii U is one of the few games that almost hits the typical gameplay loop of the other Toys to Life series, as you can tap Bowser, Bowser Jr., Diddy Kong, Donkey Kong, Luigi, Mario, Peach, Rosalina, Toad, and Yoshi to unlock mini versions of the characters and specific stages. Each character comes with a unique, special ability to really emphasize that Nintendo could have done a Toys to Life game and was making more money by not doing so. For reference, tapping an amiibo that was not on that list will give you this question block guy who just sort of exists so that you can play without having to tap one of those specific amiibo. Star Fox Guard and Star Fox Zero were a dual release for the Wii U that originally had an R-Wing amiibo planned, but it was scrapped due to safety concerns. However, that doesn't mean there's not functionality. In Guard, you can use Fox and Falco to wipe all enemies on the current stage once per day, and in Star Fox Zero, you can unlock an SNES-styled R-Wing with Fox and a black R-Wing with Falco. The Wii U version of Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games allowed you to tap Mario or Sonic to let you play their specific league for a chance to unlock a Mii outfit, both of which are gold versions of that specific character. Rounding out the Wii U's amiibo life is 2017, with the release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This actually started a new round of amiibo with red logos instead of the old white one. This release brought us Rider Link, Breath of the Wild Zelda, Bokoblin, Guardian, and Archer Link. The Guardian's arms are opposable, which is fairly unique and makes it worth the price increase compared to the other amiibo. As for Breath of the Wild, there was a fair amount of functionality. Tapping in Wolf Link unlocks Wolf Link as a partner, and single-handedly has the best functionality by retaining the number of hearts you had if it was tapped into Twilight Princess HD and you beat the Cave of Shadows. Link and Twilight Princess Link unlock Epona as a rideable horse. All Zelda series amiibo except Young Link and Link's Awakening Link, which were not released at the time of the Wii U release, will unlock exclusive gear, and any other amiibo will give you useful items to keep you going on your journey. 3.5 years into amiibo existing, and there were only 22 games on the original platform that used them. As someone who has every single retail available amiibo, I do miss the proper functionality the Wii U gave to them, especially with the sheer amount of customization that exists throughout the games on the system. But I also understand why Switch games don't utilize it anymore, and definitely think it's easier to have the functionality be something minor and not game-changing. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!